There are moments in life when everything seems to fall apart. You wake up one day and realize nothing is going as planned. The people you trusted have walked away, the opportunities you counted on have disappeared, and your mind feels like a storm of doubts and disappointments. In those moments, the question that silently echoes in your heart is, why me? But my dear friend, let me tell you something very important. See, when everything goes wrong, don't try to control the storm outside, control the storm within. You see, life will never ask your permission before it changes direction. One day you're smiling, the next day you're struggling. One day you're on top of the world, the next you're wondering how to even move forward. But the one thing you always have control over is your response, your inner state. When things start falling apart, don't rush to fix everything at once. Don't run after people, don't force situations, don't drown yourself in self-pity. Do just one thing, pause and turn inward or sit quietly and breathe. Let your heart settle. Because it's only when the dust settles that you can see clearly. When you calm your mind, clarity begins to rise like the morning sun after a long, dark night. When everything goes wrong, the world may tell you to work harder, fight more, chase success again. But spirituality teaches us something deeper. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is not to do, but to be still, to be grounded, to reconnect with your source. Remember, a bow has to be pulled backward before it releases the arrow forward. So if life feels like it's pulling you back, maybe it's preparing to launch you into something far greater than you imagined. But that can only happen if you stay centered, not broken. Every setback carries a sacred message. Every failure hides a quiet lesson. And every pain is simply a divine whisper reminding you to realign your path. You may not see it now, but one day, when you look back, you'll realize that the moments you thought were breaking you were actually building you. So the next time everything seems to go wrong, your plans, your relationships, your dreams, remember this one thing: don't panic, don't react. Just pause, breathe, and surrender us. Because sometimes letting go is not giving up, it's trusting that something higher is in control. There's a story I often remember. A man once prayed, "God, make my life easy." And God replied, "I will not, but I will make you strong." We often pray for smooth roads, but God gives us the strength to walk the rocky ones. Because strength of character, depth of faith, and the light of wisdom, they don't grow in comfort, they grow in chaos. So, when everything goes wrong, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What is life trying to teach me?" Don't ask, "When will this end?" Ask, "How can I grow through this?" You are not being punished, you are being prepared. You are not being broken, you are being shaped. The same fire that melts wax also hardens clay. It's not about the fire, it's about what you are made of. So trust the process, trust the timing. Trust that even if the road looks dark, there is light waiting just a few steps ahead. You may not control the waves, but you can learn to surf. You may not control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. Because at the end of it all, it's not about what happens to you, but what happens within you. And when everything seems to go wrong, do this one thing. Go within, and you'll find that nothing outside can truly defeat you, Tooks. When life begins to collapse around you, your first instinct is often to run, to fix, to resist. You feel that if you just work harder, talk faster, push stronger, somehow everything will fall back into place. But life doesn't always work that way. The more you try to control what's breaking, the more it seems to slip through your fingers. The more you chase stability, the more chaos seems to chase you. That's when you must remember the most important truth. When everything falls apart, don't try to control the storm outside, calm the storm within. Because the real storm is never what happens around you, it's what happens inside you. The people leaving, the opportunities failing, the disappointments unfolding, these are just waves. But what drowns you is not the wave itself, it's your panic in the water. If you can find stillness inside while the storm rages outside, you won't just survive. You'll transform. In those moments when your world starts shaking, try to pause. Just breathe. You don't have to solve everything right now. You don't have to have all the answers. You just need to find your center again. When the mind quiets down, the soul begins to speak. But you can't hear that voice of wisdom when your mind is shouting with fear. You must step back from the noise, from the endless overthinking, and let silence become your sanctuary. Calming the storm within doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or ignoring your pain. It means observing them with awareness, watching your fear, your anger, your sadness, and saying to yourself, "This too shall pass." Because it always does. No storm lasts forever. But peace doesn't come from waiting for the storm to end. It comes from learning to stay still in the rain. Think of the ocean. When the waves rise and crash, the surface looks wild and chaotic. But deep beneath, the ocean remains completely still. That's how your inner world should be. Stillness beneath the surface of your emotions. The world above may be noisy and unpredictable, but the depth within you must remain unshaken. That depth is your strength. When everything goes wrong, people will tell you to take action, to fight back, to hustle harder. And yes, there's a time for that. But there's also a sacred time when you must stop doing and start being. The calmness you build in silence is what gives power to your actions later. Without inner balance, your decisions are reactive. You act out of fear, anger, or frustration, and that only deepens the problem. But when you act from a calm mind, even a small action can carry divine impact. The truth is, the universe doesn't respond to your panic, it responds to your vibration. When your inner world is chaotic, you attract confusion. When your inner world is calm, you attract clarity. That's why calming your mind is not weakness. It's wisdom. It's not giving up. It's growing up. It's choosing peace over panic, grace over reaction, and faith over fear. You see, every challenge in life has two dimensions: the external situation and your internal response. You can't always change the external, but you always have a choice about the internal. You can either let the problem overpower your peace, or you can let your peace overpower the problem. The situation may still be the same, but how you feel about it will completely change. Sometimes life will test you not to punish you, but to teach you emotional mastery. You'll lose people you thought were forever. You'll face failures that make you question your worth. You'll go through phases where you feel invisible, unheard, and uncertain. And yet, in all of that, life is silently asking you one question: can you stay calm? Because when you can stay calm in chaos, you're no longer controlled by the world. You begin to control how the world affects you. It's like being in a boat on a turbulent sea. The waves may rise, the wind may howl, but the sailor who stays steady on the inside doesn't let the storm decide his direction. He trusts his compass. He adjusts his sails. He doesn't scream at the storm to stop. He learns how to move with it. That's what you must learn too. Not how to control the world, but how to control yourself within the world. In every painful season of your life, there's a sacred pause waiting for you to discover it. That pause is the space between what happens and how you respond. It's the moment you choose whether to react with fear or respond with faith. And that one choice, that single breath of awareness, can change the entire outcome of your life. When you calm the storm within, you don't become emotionless, you become powerful. You start seeing situations for what they are, not what your fears make them out to be. You begin to notice that half of your suffering doesn't come from events themselves, but from your interpretation of them. You realize that the mind, when uncontrolled, can turn a small issue into a lifelong battle. But the same mind, when calm, can turn a mountain into a stepping stone. Imagine a glass of muddy water. If you keep shaking it, it remains cloudy and unclear. But if you put it down and let it sit still, the dirt settles, and the water becomes clear again. That's exactly what happens to your mind. The more you struggle, the more it stays clouded. But if you sit still, clarity naturally emerges. And from clarity comes peace, strength, and direction. This is why meditation, prayer, or even just silent reflection is so powerful. It's not about escaping reality, it's about reconnecting with it. When you sit quietly, you reconnect with your true self, the self that is not defined by problems or pain, but by peace. The self that is not afraid of what's happening, because it knows that everything happening is just a part of a bigger plan. When you live from that space of calm awareness, you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start saying, "What is this teaching me?" You stop reacting out of fear and start responding out of wisdom. You stop trying to control every event and start flowing with life, trusting that even if you can't see the entire path, each step is guiding you somewhere meaningful. Calming the storm within is a lifelong practice. You won't get it perfect every time. Some days, your mind will still be restless. Some nights, you'll still feel broken. But even then, remember, the goal is not to eliminate chaos, it's to build peace stronger than the chaos. You don't wait for calmness to appear, you create it by how you choose to think, feel, and respond. There's a simple truth that many forget. You can't think clearly with a troubled heart, and you can't feel peace with a noisy mind. So before you make another decision, before you speak another word, before you take another action, take a breath. Ask yourself, am I reacting or responding? The difference between those two determines whether you move forward or stay stuck. When you start living from a calm space, something magical happens. People notice. Your energy changes. You stop carrying anxiety like a badge of struggle. You become a quiet presence of strength. And that calmness becomes contagious. You start influencing your environment instead of being influenced by it. The beauty of inner calm is that it doesn't depend on the outer world. You could be surrounded by noise, but still be silent inside. You could lose everything and still feel anchored. Because calmness is not the absence of problems. It's the presence of trust. It's trusting that life knows what it's doing, even when you don't. When everything falls apart, your mind will tempt you to act out of fear, to prove yourself, to blame others, to find quick fixes. But that's when you must do the opposite. Slow down, observe, breathe. Real strength is not how fast you move in chaos, it's how deeply you stand still in faith. This calmness, this inner silence is not passive. It's deeply powerful. It's the space where creativity is born, where clarity appears, where courage rises. You can't force your way through every difficulty, but you can flow through it with awareness. And that awareness comes only when you stop fighting the storm and start understanding it. The storm outside is temporary. The peace inside is eternal. When you nurture that inner peace, life begins to unfold differently. The same problems that once made you panic now become opportunities to practice balance. The same people who once triggered you become mirrors reflecting your growth. The same pain that once crushed you becomes the fuel for your awakening. So whenever everything starts to fall apart, remember, the world outside may be shaking, but you have the power to remain unshaken. Don't waste your energy trying to control what's beyond your reach. Use that energy to calm your heart, clear your mind, and connect to your higher self. That's where true power lives, not in controlling the waves, but in mastering your response to them. And the day you learn to stay calm when everything goes wrong, that's the day life stops controlling you. Because you finally learn to control yourself. When life doesn't go the way you planned, when your efforts seem wasted and your dreams begin to crumble, it's easy to think you're being punished. As if the universe is against you, as if everything is working to break you down. But what if I told you something entirely different? What if every wrong turn, every closed door, every delay, and every heartbreak was not a punishment, but a preparation? What if what's happening to you is not meant to break you, but to build you? You see, life has a mysterious way of shaping us. It often uses discomfort to make us discover our strength. It uses loss to help us find gratitude. It uses endings to prepare us for beginnings we can't yet see. The problem is, when we're in the middle of pain, we forget this truth. We start asking, why me? Instead of asking, what is this making me become? Every setback carries a seed of strength within it. But to see that seed, you must look beyond your pain. The truth is, we rarely grow when life is comfortable. We grow when life challenges us to rise above what we thought we could handle. The soul expands through resistance, just as muscles grow through tension. If everything were easy, we'd never evolve. We'd never build patience, wisdom, or resilience. When life delays your plans, it's not denial, it's divine redirection. Maybe you weren't ready yet. Maybe the timing wasn't right. Maybe there's a version of you that life is still shaping before you can receive what you're asking for. Because the truth is, sometimes God doesn't give you what you want right away, not because He's ignoring you, but because He's protecting you from something you can't yet handle. When you're going through pain, it's hard to see this. It's hard to trust that there's purpose in your suffering. But if you look back at your past, you'll realize something powerful. Every time life seemed to fall apart, something better eventually took its place. Every time you lost something you thought you couldn't live without, life gave you something you truly needed. Growth always comes disguised as discomfort. We humans often pray for strength, but we forget that strength only develops through struggle. We pray for courage, but courage is born from fear. We pray for wisdom, but wisdom is carved through mistakes. Life doesn't hand us these qualities, it trains us through experience. That's why every challenge is secretly an answer to your prayers, just not in the form you expected. Imagine a seed planted deep underground. It's buried in darkness, surrounded by soil, feeling pressure from all sides. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. But inside, life is awakening. The seed is breaking open, roots are growing downward, and soon a sprout will rise upward. The breaking is part of the becoming. The same is true for you. When life buries you under challenges, it's not your end, it's the beginning of your growth. When everything goes wrong, you might feel lost and question your worth. You might think the universe is ignoring your prayers. But that's when you need to remember. Diamonds are formed under pressure, gold is refined in fire, and you too are being refined through what you're going through. The heat you feel is not meant to destroy you, it's meant to transform you into your purest form. There's a story of a butterfly struggling to break free from its cocoon. A man, seeing it struggle, decided to help by cutting the cocoon open. But once free, the butterfly couldn't fly. Its wings were too weak. What the man didn't realize was that the struggle was necessary. It was the very process that pushed blood into the butterfly's wings, giving it the strength to fly. Similarly, the struggles you face are giving you the wings you'll need later. If you avoid the struggle, you delay your flight. You might be going through a delay right now, a season where nothing seems to work. You've tried, you've prayed, you've waited, but the door hasn't opened. Don't lose faith. Life is not saying no, it's saying not yet. Every masterpiece takes time. Every great soul is tested before it is trusted with purpose. The waiting season is not wasted time, it's preparation time. The universe is aligning circumstances, refining your character, and making sure you can carry the blessings that are coming your way. It's easy to celebrate success, but true growth happens in silence, in pain, in waiting. The strongest trees are not those that grew fast, but those that dug their roots deep in the